Monday the 8th. That's in 2 days time when I'm shooting this video. Guess what's happening? The EFF are going to be in the streets for the first time. The curtain raiser was Mbuyiseni Ndlozi. A few days ago, in his neighborhood, I suppose, he went to a couple of schools to check the readiness of the schools before the opening, and he found that the schools are in appalling conditions. But this is not the issue, folks. Remember, a couple of days ago, the EFF press conference, what did Julius Malema say?
Do not take your children to school. I want to really make a plea to religious leaders. Do not open your places. You are the ones who should be saying your members should not come to church. Members of the EFF, supporters of the EFF, do not go to church. It's a trap. You're going to die. It's a setup. Do not go to church. Look at what the church did in Bloemfontein. We have evidence of what the church can do. Our leaders can still reach out to our people through different methods. Be it a message, be it a recorded message.
Christians, I'm just paraphrasing here, do not go to church. It's a trap. Do not send your kids to school because they're going to go home and infect grandma and grandpa, right? But on Monday the 8th, oh no, let's hit the streets. Let's go to the US Embassy to protest against the death of George Floyd. Let's go to the US Consulate in Sandton. Let's go to the US Consulate in the Western Cape. Guess what? Maybe coronavirus understand this quest for justice. Coronavirus is going to say, hey folks, you know what? You're going to be protesting against the death of a black man killed by a white man, so we're going to spare you. Thousands and thousands and thousands of you are going to be spared when you're going to be congested together protesting against the death of George Floyd. Any person of a different race, on Monday when you're going to protest with the EFF, you're going to be safe. Corona is going to identify you. It's going to say, I see you. I'm just going to leave you alone. But if you go out, try to hustle to get a job, coronavirus is going to infect you. Or if you just go out there and you take your kids to school, your kids are going to be infected. And guess what? Because of this, some of them are so, what's the word? Asymptomatic. They're going to infect grandma. But if you go out to protest against the death of a black man killed by a white man, corona is going to spare you. Man, the hypocrisy is crazy. It's crazy. I remember seeing the timeline of the former spokesperson of the EFF, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, all the time, you know, in full panic. Do not let people to go out. Do not move level 5 to level 4. Do not move level 4 to level 3. Get holed up in your own houses. Let's ride this storm off. And then when everything is fine, that's when we're going to be out. Do not sell alcohol, because alcohol is going to make poor people, you know, it's always about poor people. The poor people are going to be responsible. That's the insinuation. They're going to be drinking their alcohol and they will be fighting with their partners or they're just going to be causing riots and fighting among each other, stepping each other, and the hospital ward, the emergency ward, is going to be flooded. And as a result, people who are going to be having COVID-19 are then not going to be able to be attended to. Remember, that has just vanished. Hey, don't get me wrong. We all need justice. We all need equality for all. But where is the logic of saying that people shouldn't go to church? People shouldn't go to school? People shouldn't go to work? So that we can get hold up until we ride this coronavirus out. But then, let us all go out in our thousands to march against the injustice. Granted, the injustice that has happened, you know. But then, where you talking about the coronavirus being something that we must be avoiding at all the times, but we now marching. And I must say that there's a lot of injustice that has happened here at home in this Republic of South Africa. Maybe everybody has forgotten about a gentleman there in the Free State province. He was protesting. As far as my memory serves me, I think he was a teacher, Andres Tatani. He got killed, right, by the police, our own police, trying to protest, trying to get water, trying to get basic service delivery. What happened to that? It all died out, all quiet, and then a gentleman by the name of Collins Khosa from Alexander Township. He got beaten up by our own South African National Defense Force. Yeah, I know the irony in the name. The National Defense Force. He died. Yeah. So we've been told that the reason that he had died, it's not because of he was being beaten up. There are other issues, right? But there was no march being organized by any other political party. Okay? No political party. The EFF did not organize a march for Collins Khosa, right? Who is here, right here in this Republic of South Africa. Well, number one, they did not organize the march because we have to be holed up in our houses so that we can flatten the curve, eh? Flatten the curve. So that didn't happen, right? Okay, now we've had that the EFF has contributed to the funeral services. They met the families of Collins Khosa. But remember what happened before that? When the lockdown started, the EFF President Julius Malema said that people who goes out in the streets in defiance of the lockdown are to be beaten up. Okay? That's what he said. That's what he tweeted. They are to be beaten up. Okay. And then the beating started to be shown on social medias. And then Julius Malema came up again and said, hey, it looks like you're only beating up black people. White folks need to be beaten up as well. Hey, equal opportunity in ass whooping. And then what happened later on? People start getting hurt. And the gentleman by the name of Collins Khosa died. So it's unfortunate that one of the leaders, people whom when they speak, even the so-called authorities, the government, do listen and plan around trying to listen. Say, somebody says people should be treated with dignity and the constitution need to be respected. You know, the president of this republic, as much as you might disagree with whatever that he's saying, At least he said that there shouldn't be the beating up of civilians by the soldiers or by the police. He used a word called scope, and I can't use the other word. It's a profanity, obviously. He said that. I think he also even said that twice. But the leader of the second opposition of this republic, the economic freedom fighter, said that people should be beaten up. And then, sure enough, they started being beaten up. And then one person died. And then when this person died, the EFF now is paying for their funeral. I remember when Julius Malema said that
he called businessman Cyril Ramaphosa arrogant after his investment holding company, Shanduka, announced on Saturday that it would contribute 2 million rand towards the burial of the miners.
I will kill you and bury you. That is what he's saying. That is the message we are getting from him.
Julius Malema says that people should be beaten up, and then when they get beaten up and get killed, and then his organization organized to bury them. Ain't that funny? So funny. But what has happened? We saw most of the folks at the EFF tweeting that during the time when alcohol was banned, they said that, hey, this should be the norm coming after the lockdown, that people shouldn't then drink alcohol. They tweeted that this should be the norm. Okay, and this is just pure dictatorship. So we are lucky they're not at the helm of the government. You know, we're at least now experiencing socialism / communism light from the African National Congress. So now it shows that if the economic freedom fighters are going to take over, we're going to experience heavy communism. So we're lucky now. So it's upon each and everybody out there to realize that we as individuals, we need to make difference in our societies, in our communities, talking to each other, alerting each other about the dangers of communism and socialism. They're deadly. Wherever there's been communism, there's been millions and millions of people dead. Wherever there's been socialism, there's just been millions of people dead. So I guess the political battle and standing up, trying to be able to focus, laser beam focus on the people of this republic in order for them to move forward, in order for them to get their jobs, must begin. You know, must begin. You have a political party calling themselves economic freedom fighters, but they're encouraging each and everyone to be at home so that the economy can stall, in the name of saying they're saving the life of people. And in that press conference, when Julius Malema was being asked, when do you think we should then let everybody go back to work and the lockdown, when do you think this could be stopped? And he just said, paraphrasing, I'm paraphrasing, until the corona goes away. Imagine that. Imagine that. This is unbelievable. And during this time of the lockdown, what have we seen from other political parties? With the ANC, obviously, on the social media or the YouTube channel, nothing, right? It's fine. I suppose they are the governing party. They are busy governing. You go to the Democratic Alliances. What did we see? They had a YouTube channel each and every week, about twice. They would then broadcast about issues relating to the coronavirus, issues relating to the constitution, issues relating to how, if you having issues with the UIF, who should you contact, and all sorts of ranges of trying to come up with solution. And then you go to the economic freedom fighters. What were they doing? Their YouTube broadcasting had nothing to do with the pandemic that we have in the coronavirus. They were consolidating, basically. They were just making sure that the people on the ground get to know about their party and about the revolutions, about Marxism, about socialism, about communism. That's it. That's all we've been saying. You know, that's all we've been saying. So, who does the EFF purport to be fighting for? The poor. Can we name them? Okay. Your petrol attendant, your security guards, your domestic workers, your folks who are doing gardening, what is now politically correct called landscaping, and then folks who go out there, look into the trash, put it all together, and helping in the recycling. Folks who are working in the health and beauty industry, the barber shops, the hair salon, people who do makeups and nails, right? Those are the people that the EFF purport to be protecting. What did they come up with in terms of assisting them? Because right now, as we speak, on level 3, most of those folks in that industry are not getting anything. They're not getting anything, no income. And these people, most of them are not being registered as business. So as a result, they were not able to then put on some paperwork and request for a bit of a financial assistance. It doesn't happen. So the only thing that I had, in fact, which was funny and sad at the same time, was when Minister Nkosazana Zuma was making, it sounded like a joke, because she said that people who...
Maybe, who knows, maybe the hairdressers can open online lessons for people on how to do their hair.
So you can imagine me, my barber, who doesn't even have money to be able to get data and be on the internet and set up a class where then they're going to teach their customers how to do their hair, of which, even if they're successful in teaching their customers to do their hair and to shave and so forth, when everything goes back to normal, when they go back to their barber shops, they would not be having customers who are going to put their bums on the seats for them to do their hair, because now everybody knows how to do their hair. I mean, that's just unbelievable. But that's just what's been happening. Now, think of it. What's going to be happening to all those businesses that are closing down, which the government said that they're not essential? They're going to be closing down. They're going to be closing down. I mean, and this is just a calamity, you know. We need people who would go out and come up with solutions, you know. If I were the EFF, I would probably maybe would have then met with the leaders in say, industries like your petroleum companies, you know, or go to those petrol stations and speak to petrol attendants or how they're being treated, or to find out if their companies are adhering to social distancing rules, whether they're getting masks and so forth, you know, and also trying to make sure that they can influence the government in giving relief to people who are in those industries that are not being formalized. But it hasn't been happening. All you just see is Karl Marx, Vladimir Lenin, communism, socialism. You know, you can give them credit, but they're doing what they're saying they're doing, you know. They want to do away with countries as per socialism, no nationalities, the continent having one president, the continent having one army, the continent having one currency. They're working on it. They're having the economic freedom fighters organizations in SADC. They're moving up and they're gearing up on that. You know what I mean? As much as this is the most communism and socialism is the most dangerous and deadly ideas, at least they're upfront about it. They're not hiding. But that's just the irony that I wanted to talk about, of a political party that started from the beginning, where you saw Julius Malema with a baby on the back telling his supporters and the people of the Republic of South Africa to stay at home, telling the government that people should stay at home for longer. Let's hold on. Let's make sure that we stay home for longer. Do not go to church. Do not take your kids to school because the kids are going to infect grandma. And then a couple of days later, boom, telling his followers and everyone who cares to march down to Pretoria at the UN embassy against the death of George Floyd, where now each and everyone, all those thousands of people who are going to be marching over there, the issue of them being infected with the coronavirus that the EFF has been saying that it's deadly, just gets thrown out of the window. But the most important thing that I can see is that now people are waking up. People are waking up across all the party levels. They're seeing it. They're seeing through all these other political parties, that political parties can never do anything for you unless you pressurize them and you make them change. Unless you start talking about issues that matters, bread and food on the table, employment, you know, not looking out at the government to assist you, the government to give you a job, because that is a fantasy. There's no government that can create a job for you. It has to be businesses that we have to build up from scratch, where we just need an opportunities and deregulations, and obviously a good environment where business could be encouraged to prosper so that people can make money for themselves. You don't have to be at the mercy of a political party going out there and telling or asking and pleading for a political party to assist you. It's about time we start to get together across all racial lines and make sure that we're getting jobs and making sure that we put food on the table, and you don't have to get a politician hoodwinking you and you sit down and you're like, what is this person talking about? Because the things that they're saying are not making sense. They're just getting political clout. They're just strategizing for their own political parties into expanding and then getting to power. That's it. The lever of the political power. The only thing that a politician is out there looking for is for power, no matter what. And you're seeing it unfolding before your eyes. That's the only thing that we're seeing, that with this corona situation, we've been seeing a whole lot of things across the board, be it when it comes to religious organization, religious leaders, and what they are not doing and what they should be doing. They're not doing it. And thank you for watching the Mamuji Show.